Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am super excited about this fresh forum. Whether you are a plant-based eater, you're a flexitarian, or you're just curious to learn more about plant-based, this is the fresh forum for you. Today, we are joined by Prime Roots. Now, Prime Roots is on a mission to reimagine the traditional deli case by satisfying meat cravings with plant-based deli meat that is clean with no nitrates, cholesterol, or top 9 allergens. Now, Prime Roots products, they are non-GMO, they are gluten-free, they're soy-free, and they're produced with less impact on the environment than traditional deli meats. Now, through the innovative use of koji, like the roots of mushrooms commonly found in miso and soy sauce, these offerings, they replicate the umami tastes and textures of traditional deli meats. Now, today, Kimberlie Lee, she's the co-founder and CEO of Prime Roots. She'll be discussing how Prime Roots products are made, and we'll take a deeper look at how there are now no compromise solutions that focus on whole food proteins and ingredients that satisfy meat tastes and cravings. Now, Kimberlie has created the first ever plant-based, freshly sliced deli meat and charcuterie made from koji. Now, as a chef's daughter, her love for cooking, brewing, and fermenting, it was ignited early on, along with her understanding of the impacts that food has on the planet. Now, with a microbiology background and culinary passion, Kim was at the forefront of alternative protein innovations, launching Prime Roots back in 2017. Now, Kim's achievements, they include being on a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree list, receiving the Game Changer Idea Award from Food and Wine magazine, and Fast Company's World Changing Ideas Award. Now, before we jump in, I want to remind everyone that we do have a Q&A section located at the bottom of your screen. Throughout the presentation, please feel free to put all of your questions in there, and we'll have a live Q&A with Kim at the end. So with that said, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Lori, for that awesome intro. And hello, everyone. So happy to be here. We are so honored to be partnered with Earth Fare now in all locations as our partner in the Southeast. So we're excited to be bringing all of our freshly sliced deli meats to all of you. And we have some fun stuff at the end and a coupon as well. So stay tuned. And I'm excited to be really sharing, what Prime Roots is all about. Why we do what we do, what we do, what we do. I think a lot of people are really curious about how we make our products, how, they're different than a lot of everything else that's out there in the marketplace today. And so really excited to dive in and excited for all of your questions as well. So with that, Prime Roots is really full of flavor and no nonsense. We really, really pride ourselves in being able to bring really traditional deli classics that most people grew up with. I grew up going to the deli, getting a slice, trying all the different products, and having sandwiches for lunch every day. And sandwiches are the most consumed food in the United States. Over 50% of people will have a sandwich every single day. And there's a lot not to love about your traditional deli sandwich, whether it's nitrates, preservatives, and a lot of things that we don't love about them. And it is Earth Month in April, and so we thought this is a very fitting fresh forum to be a part of as well, because one of our core missions at Prime Roots is to actually make a huge impact on the planet. And we'll get more into that as well. So we really wanted to make a no compromises deli meat that was made for the vegan, vegetarian, and the meat eater. I'm a proud flexitarian, and most of our consumers are as well. And so we're really excited to be bringing an option that's really fit for the whole family for all occasions where you have deli meats or charcuterie. So a little bit about our background. As Lori mentioned, I am a daughter of a chef, and so I love food, grew up in the hospitality industry, and really our approach at Prime Roots is very food first. We want quality food that nourishes people and planet, and so that has been really the lens in which we've approached Prime Roots. Prime Roots was started in 2017, so we've been around for about 7 years, but a good 5 of those years was just focused on making the best products. And we're born in UC Berkeley, out of the alternative meat lab there, where we were really focused on how do we move the industry forwards in terms of making products that aren't full of soy or gluten or chemicals and really, really ultra processed ingredients that many people are now very weary of within the plant-based space. So we wanted to really reimagine how we could make a plant-based option that fit into our lifestyles, our everyday lifestyles, and what we love to eat, but also that was really, really clean. And so Josh, my co-founder, and I, we set out on this mission to make something that really was no compromise through and through. And so we've partnered with some of the best chefs in the world, including Dominique Crenn. She's an Iron chef, and she has 3 Michelin stars, and she's based in San Francisco, which is in our backyard. So we spent about 5 years just focusing on how do we innovate to make the best products, but in a more natural way that fits the meat, that meets the meat eater where they are. In 2022, so about a year and a half ago, we launched our products into grocery at Berkeley Bowl, which is a local grocery store to us. Very, very similar to Earth Fare. You know, we have a section of the deli case where you can walk up and you can get our products sliced by the pound. In 2023, we achieved our B Corp certification, which is a huge milestone for us. It really solidifies the impact that we're making. And it's the process was really enlightening because we've already tracked a lot of our environmental sustainability, but being able to be recognized for that is huge for both shoppers who are looking for more sustainable products, but also just overall to be able to keep up with our sustainability and make it really a big part of what we do every day. And then this year, in January, we were featured on a Netflix documentary called You Are What You Eat. It's also called The Twin Experiment. Some people might have seen it already, and if you haven't, I highly recommend watching it. It's a great 4-part documentary about really the differences between a plant-based diet and a healthy omnivore diet. And there's a lot of great learnings from that. And we're in episode 4 within that. So you can also learn more about Prime Roots, and there's some videos about how the product is made and behind the scenes. So it's a really, really great documentary to watch. So that's our roots. Our products are award-winning, as Lori mentioned some of them. We're a finalist this year, and we're very proud about being a Good Food Award finalist. It's a food industry award that recognizes really high-quality products. Our salami, which is found at Earth Fare, is a finalist actually in the meat charcuterie category. So it's great to have praise from actual conventional meat category for that. We also have a lot of other really exciting industry awards, and our company was named on the Time magazine's Green Tech Companies list this year as well. So we're excited to be recognized for all of our achievements in sustainability, but also for our amazing tasting products. So this is what we make. So we like to say we're the new school deli. We're very much inspired by old school delis. We have some partners in all around the country that are old school delis that love their craft just as much as we love ours, that are slicing our products in their delis side by side with their conventional deli offerings. And it's the first time they've ever brought in a plant-based deli. It's a new way forward. We don't use any preservatives or nitrates, so it is a healthier option than a lot of deli meats. And you can see here we have an assortment of hams, turkeys, salami, pepperoni, and our pâtés are in our charcuterie set. Earth Fare has all of our products, and so you can actually find all of these flavors and products at your local Earth Fare. And it's exactly the same experience as ordering any deli offering. Go up to the counter, you can order it by the pound. And a lot of stores also have these amazing sandwiches. There's an Italian, there's sometimes some salads that are made with the products as well. So wherever you use deli meats, you can try Prime Roots. I have a little video here of the products actually getting sliced. So you can actually see that the meat, it curls and it folds just like conventional deli meat. It's not made from soy or gluten, so it doesn't chip or shred. You can even ask for the products shaved or really finely sliced, thinly sliced. You can have it thick cut. We have people who come and get dinner cuts so they can have ham steaks. And so you can really do anything with the product, but it's always fun to see it sliced because it is exactly the same as conventional meats. All right, you're probably wondering how do we do it? Um, we Our main ingredient is koji. Koji is a fungi. It's in the really fungi family, so it's related to mushrooms. Think of it like the roots of mushrooms, where it has a really, really meaty texture, and it's traditionally found in miso and soy sauce. So most people have had koji before. It's a whole food protein, so we don't do any protein extraction or extrusion that many plant-based companies use. So we really wanted to have a product and a process that was a lot more natural. So we don't use any artificial ingredients either. Koji has a natural taste and texture of meat, which is what makes it such a great meat analog and alternative. And we really make our products just the same way meat is made, and I have more on that. So it's really a simple three-step process. So making the koji is really, really similar to brewing beer or kombucha. So it's brewed really, and it grows in these like fibers that are very similar to chicken breast in texture. The growing process takes a mere number of days. And from there, we harvest the koji. It's pretty simple. You just separate the liquid from the solids, and we mix it and we form it with sources of healthy fats. So we only use coconut or rice bran. We don't use any canola or any processed seed oils in our process. We only use natural colors, so beets, tomatoes. We don't use any artificial additives at all in any of our products. And then we quite literally make meat. So the same Epicurean processes you would use to make conventional meats, we would mix the product. We actually put our hams inside nettings that then get roasted. Our salami and our pepperoni, our dried products, they get put in a casing. We always use cellulose, so we don't use animal-based casings, and then they actually get dried. So we use all the same techniques that you would use to make meats. Because the koji is so meat-like as a base material, we're able to do that. And then quite simply, it's cooking the product, so roasting it, steaming it, depending on what type of product we're making. And then we'll package it up, put it on the label, and ship it to stores just the way that you can find it at the deli counter. And so why do we do what we do? So we spent about 5 years, working on how do we make koji? How do we make koji into meats? How do we make all of these delicious deli meats that we grew up loving? We did it because if you look at what's on the market today, and I do want to call out that all of the Earth Fare products have extremely clean labels, which is why we're so honored to be a part of the assortment. But there are a lot of products out there that have a lot of additives and artificial ingredients. And so we wanted to make something that was actually better for our health, and actually better for the planet. So we just have a comparison here that's very illustrative of the differences between what we're doing and what some more conventional, traditional plant-based players are doing. Everything on our ingredient list is, you can read it. They're common ingredients, and obviously the koji is the first ingredient. So you're getting the protein, you're getting the fiber, and you're getting the great taste and the texture from the koji. So significantly shorter ingredient list, and through a much, much healthier product. The nutrition benefits. People are always really, really excited to learn about, what goes into our product and how it can help us all be better. For meat eaters and regular deli goers, which a fun fact, 80% of Prime Roots customers are meat eaters, but our products are all plant-based, all vegan friendly. They do pack a really, really nice punch of protein and fiber. And fungi-based proteins are actually shown in many, many studies to build muscle better than whey protein, which is a extremely bioavailable protein. The fungi-based proteins are also shown to be more bioavailable and more digestible. There's no cholesterol, no nitrates, and no preservatives. So compared to conventional deli meats, we don't have any of these. So this is a large concern for many doctors who advise their patients to reduce their deli meat consumption. You don't need to. You can swap in or supplement with prime roots. We don't use any processed proteins, like I mentioned. We only use koji, which is like the roots of mushrooms. We have great taste, great texture. It's really a fit for the entire family. For vegetarians, vegan, and the plant-based consumer, a lot of products out there are made from soy or gluten, and we are free from both of those because koji is our main source of protein and fiber. We're top 9 allergen free as well, and we only use clean ingredients that are natural. In terms of our impact, we're very, very proud. We did a full life cycle analysis and analyzed our process end to end. And we know that we save greenhouse gas emissions, significant amount of water, land use, and water eutrophication, which is the downstream impacts of animal agriculture on marine ecosystems. So very, very proud of our impact. And as we grow, we'll only scale this over time. And yeah, and that's it. Wanted to give a broad overview about what Prime Roots is, what koji is, how we make our products, and we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to write to us anytime. We're at hello@primeroots.com. We're slicing at the deli, so every Earth Fair deli carries us, so you can find our products, and we always love to hear what your favorite products are. So thank you for having me here and sharing our story.
Absolutely. And Kim, I think it's important to mention Earth Fare is one of the first retailers on the East Coast to carry this in our deli. Is that right? Can you talk to me a little bit more about that partnership and how that started?
Yes, so we're so honored to be at Earth Fair, and we love the deli, and we love being part of the deli. Earth Fair is such a innovator in terms of bringing in new plant-based products.
Mhm.
Mitch, who is in charge of all merchandising, marketing, and all really the stores, who's great. If you haven't seen Mitch, he is awesome. Mitch actually found our products and found out about Prime Roots before we had even launched. So many, many years ago, he found our products and said, wow, this is really cool. What you all are doing is really different. Fell in love with the products. And we've been just really, really exciting and chomping at the bit to launch. And so we're excited to be here finally. And, this is really a new wave. And so please do come to the deli. We're slicing, we're sampling. Everyone gets free samples. If you ask, you can try every single product, even if you'd like. So don't be shy. And we're just so honored to be partnered with Earth Fare, to be pioneering really in bringing plant-based options, especially on the East Coast, to consumers, and leading charge on having an option that is cleaner, healthier, and better for the planet. So really checking all of those boxes.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to note too, we have the deli meats in the deli, but we also have pre-made sandwiches and they are delicious. Do you have a favorite sandwich combo? Because we offer many different varieties in all of our locations. So if you want to come in and get a plant-based sandwich with Prime Roots, that will definitely be available. But what's one of your favorites?
I love an Italian. So, and I love the Earth Fare Italian particularly because it
Mhm.
has, I believe it has the dairy cheese in it. Not dairy like animal dairy, but the brand Dare. I think it's Dare.
Mhm.
And it has a lovely pickle, veggies. It's a great sandwich. If I'm making something at home, I love to grab like one of our pâtés, some of our meats, and then have like just a nice simple sandwich or a banh mi. So there's endless opportunities and combinations that you can make.
Absolutely. Well, we sent out a survey and we had hundreds of people respond with this survey. And, before we jump into the live Q&A, which we have a ton of questions, by the way, so hopefully we'll get to all of them. But we asked, where are you on your plant-based journey? And 38.6%. So the majority of folks say they do not consume meat at all. But it was also followed up very closely with 35% of folks that say they incorporate plant-based meats into the diet maybe a few times a week. And we asked what interests folks more about adapting a plant-based diet, and 65% said health outcomes. So that's a huge number there. And then we also asked, what barriers do you face when considering a plant-based diet? Over 50% said the cost. Plant-based meat alternatives, they can be expensive. And then it was also followed up by taste and texture, that they're afraid they'll miss those favorite foods. So talk to me a little bit about the taste and the texture and what makes it different, and how does koji relate to all of that and, sets it apart?
So the beauty of koji is as a material, it's really meat-like. And so
Mhm. It looked like it in
scientifically,
the slicer when we watched the video. Yeah.
yep, exactly. So the interesting thing is like scientifically, it's actually the same like shape and size as animal muscle fiber.
Mhm.
So it has the same bite and mouthfeel, which is a
Mhm.
huge gap in plant-based because most plant-based products are either mushy or spongy. And we've gotten that feedback a lot
Mhm.
from consumers who've tried other plant-based products. And so when you try Prime Roots product, the ham is a different texture than the turkey, is a different texture than salami. And
Okay.
it actually comes down to how meat is actually made.
Mhm.
So, for example, salami is a dried product, and so when you dry out the
Mhm.
product, it alters the texture. So it's a firmer product, and a lot of it just comes from the meat making process. And because koji is so meat-like, by using the same Epicurean processes used to make meat, you can have those different tastes and textures.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to our Earth Fair moderator. Again, we have a ton of questions. We will get to as many as possible. But yeah, we'd love to hear some questions. And Kim, if you could respond, that'd be great.
Yeah, happy to.
All right, I will go ahead and jump in then. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Both in the pre-survey and in the chat right now, we are getting a lot of questions about the sodium content of Prime Roots products. Can you speak to that a little bit, please?
Absolutely. So part of our process of making, really what we like to think of the best version of deli meats that we could make, we recognize that sodium was a big challenge for many, many folks. And so our products are not low sodium because salt is what makes deli meats taste very good to us. And so our products are on average 10, like anywhere between 10 to 40% less sodium than their conventional like standard. So we are lower sodium, but we're not low sodium or no sodium.
Awesome, thank you. Similarly, we're getting some questions about the sugar content and carbohydrates involved, particularly with women or with people who have diabetes.
So we do have carbs, but they're in the form of fiber that comes naturally from the koji. So we've had some dietitians and nutritionists tell us, oh wow, like Prime Roots actually makes a sandwich a really, really balanced meal because you're getting the fiber and you're getting the protein. So obviously talk to your doctor if you need any specific advice or dietitian. But our products, do have fiber, which is a source of carbs, but we have very, very little, if no, added sugars or sugars in our products.
Awesome, thank you. Similarly, several people have written in explaining that while they do want to adopt more of a plant-based diet, part of their concern might be that plant-based meat alternatives are heavily processed and they like to eat cleaner, simpler foods. Can you talk about the process of creating your products? And then also, are there any preservatives involved in that people might be trying to avoid?
Great question. We're very, very proudly no nitrates and no preservatives. A lot of companies will also use like celery salt, which is a source of nitrates. It is natural, it is a source of nitrates. We don't do any of that. So we don't use any preservatives because we don't have to. Our process is really, really clean end to end. We're not handling, animals where we have koji, which is a plant fungi-based protein. Does that answer the question?
I believe so, but certainly if somebody's looking for more clarification, drop it in the chat, but we'll move on for now. We also had some questions asking how you stack up to other prime meat alternative prime meat brands in the category. There we go. For instance, maybe Impossible Burger. Can you tell us how you compare to some of those more popular ones that we've been seeing on shelves recently?
Absolutely. So, when we looked at the slide with the ingredient comparisons, something that we're really, really proud about is not having any artificial ingredients, having ingredients that everyone can pronounce or understands what it is and it's commonly used. So I know that Impossible has a lot of ingredients like methylcellulose that are scary sounding and they're often, they're not natural. And so we've avoided all of that. And that really comes back to the koji being such a meat-like texture and taste that we can actually not use, everything from nitrates, preservatives, but also not use the conventional plant-based ingredients that give a lot of consumers pause when looking at plant-based options. So we really encourage people to look at our label and learn about koji and how it could fit into their everyday.
Awesome. We've had a couple questions coming in asking what flavors you might offer in flavored meats. Are they traditional flavors or do you have some other alternatives for people with a more adventurous palate?
Well, we'd love any and all recommendations if there are more interesting flavors. We have the classics. So our Black Forest ham, we have a black pepper turkey, a pepperoni salami. We've really covered the basics. And you can obviously layer in flavors in making sandwiches to really elevate things. But we always love to hear about new product concepts.
All right, awesome. Here we had one just come in that I think is interesting. Can you talk about the saturated fat comparison in Prime Roots products compared to traditional deli meats?
Yeah, absolutely. So, depending on the product, some we do use some coconut oil on, but it's very, very small amounts. I believe our pâtés are higher in saturated fat, but compared to conventional pâté, they're still much healthier. I know that, for example, our like ham and turkey have zero or very close to zero saturated fat content in them. So it depends on the product, and we have all the info on our website. Obviously, the products are also in store. But when we went through making our products, because when we're building with Koji, where we can actually build the best version of meat that we wanted, we looked at everything from protein, preservatives, fat. We wanted to make sure we use the highest quality ingredients and the cleanest as possible as well.
All right, we've got a couple questions here relating to how the product should be stored. So does it need to stay cold like regular deli meats for school lunches? And also, can it be frozen for later use?
So it should be stored refrigerated, just like conventional deli meats. And so definitely advised to keep it cold. You cannot freeze the product. We don't recommend freezing the product because it does alter the texture very similarly to conventional deli meats. So definitely chilled is the best. It does have a slightly longer durability than conventional deli meats. So obviously smell, visual inspection, look at the expiry dates, all of the conventional advice there.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we are just about at time, so I'm going to throw it back to Lori and Kimberly for a wrap up. But thank you all for your great questions. We really appreciate the participation.
Absolutely. And I have one question, just because I absolutely love pizza, who doesn't? How does this hold up in the oven? Can you put the salami and the meats on top of pizza? Does it cook like traditional meat?
Yep, it's identical. That's something we're really, really proud of. There's some products out there that when you heat it up, it like melts or it does like kind of hooky things. Our pepperoni, our salami will actually curl up on a pizza.
Wow.
One of my favorite ways, I mean, I love hot sandwiches. So I love to heat up our products in like a panini. So literally anywhere you use conventional deli meats, you can use Prime Roots. Like we've had some people use it for like turkey pot pies and soups, like a split pea soup. There's endless opportunities.
That's amazing. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us. This was so educational. And we're going to send out the recording of this video through email. And we're also going to include a survey, a link to the survey. So if you didn't have an opportunity to take that, it's only 4 questions, and you'll get 20% off all of our Prime Roots products at any Earth Fair location. We're going to run that through the rest of the month, through April. So please take advantage. We'll get that out in the next day or two to your email. And then just keep in mind, Earth Fair is actually having a big Earth Day celebration this coming Saturday on April the 20th from 11 to 3 p.m. We'll have eco-friendly activities for kids, educational stations, local samples. We'll have a cookout. It's all free of charge. All of our Earth Fair locations will be celebrating. So make sure to come on out and see us. But again, Kim, this was amazing. So much great information. Visit us at Earth Fair, talk with our deli clerks about Prime Roots. You can also go to their website. And again, take that survey and get 20% off. So really enjoyed speaking with you today, and I hope everyone enjoyed the topic. So thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you, everyone. So nice to meet you all. Bye.
Absolutely. Everyone have a happy and healthy day. We'll talk soon.